If you're like me, you probably take way too much stuff into the woods with you when you're hunting. But as a do-it-yourself traveling hunter, there's a few things that I've learned that I just don't like to be without. And so there's a few things that I have on my back and in my backpack and in the tree with me that I feel are really, really important. So I thought I'd take a few moments to just go through some of these things that I always have with me on these do-it-yourself hunts when I'm hunting out of state. So let's just kind of go through them for a minute here. Obviously we have a safety line. I always have a trail camera with me. I just never know when I'm going to see a perfect spot to put one up. I got a pair of 10x42 binoculars with me all the time. And then when I'm in the tree stand, there's a few things that I really like to have in my pack. One of those is a good bow hanger that I can put up to hang my bow on and keep it within easy reach. A hanger like this is really important. I can hang things like rattling antlers, binoculars, and my backpack and so forth on I always like to have a good hook with me. A haul rope for pulling things up into the tree with me is important. Nikon Pro Stuff rangefinder. I like to range everything around me. I have a spare release with me all the time, and that's kind of a long story, but I never go anywhere without a spare release. And this is a puffy jacket that I like to have kind of stuffed in the bottom of my backpack, and when it gets cool in the evening, then I can just pull this thing out and stick it on and be more comfortable. I use sticks that can stack. These hawk tree sticks are a little bit heavier than some because they have both have steps on both sides, but I really like having steps on both sides, and I just feel safer when I'm climbing the tree that way. And as I've gotten older, I've gravitated more and more towards these mesh style stands like this hawk kickback for sitting for long periods during the rut. I may sit all day, or I might sit at least most of the day. I think it's really important to be comfortable, and it helps you stay on stand longer when you really need to be. So those are some important things, and here's one that you might not have thought of. I have a tablet with me all the time for two primary reasons. Number one, I have a card reader, so as I check my trail cameras, I can just dump the photos onto this tablet, and then when I'm in the stand I can go through them and look at them in more detail. And another thing that's really neat about this tablet is I have the Scout Look weather app on it, and it's way more than just weather. I use it to log where my stand locations are, and then if I'm in a tree stand I can look and I can see what the weather's going to be for the next day. And for example, you know, I'm in the tree stand in the evening, I'm thinking where am I going to hunt in the morning. I can just scroll through here and look at what the scent cone looks like for the morning, and then I can go through and compare that to where my stand locations are and pick the stand that I'm going to hunt in that morning. So that's really important to me. Another thing that I really like, you can just scroll through the hourly weather here, and if I'm looking for a change in wind direction and all of a sudden, you know, I see that the wind's going to change and it's going to be bad for where I'm sitting, all of this stuff is very portable. I can just get it down, move, and get it back up. You know, maybe in a half an hour I can be in a completely different tree. So it's a good idea to have a tablet, or at least a phone. I like to have a tablet because it gives me a nice big screen and I can really analyze the pictures and look at that Scout Look weather app. So those are the things that are important to me that I always make sure that I have with me on a do-it-yourself hunting road trip.